Hi, I'm JC Gold and welcome to the Gel Adjuster Bootcamp page. Before I get started, I just wanted to remind you that the Adjuster Bootcamp course, description, required materials, tuition, class location and accommodations are just below me on the bottom of this page. So check them out after I'm done. What can you expect from Gel's Adjuster Bootcamp? Well, here we go. On day one, elements of the adjusting industry are discussed, as well as tools and skills of adjusting and understanding homeowners policies. The Xactimate software is introduced and students begin to learn how to search and sketch with Xactimate 27. Day two, students visit Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse and familiarize themselves with the construction elements and materials. Back in the classroom, students discuss how to handle damages, deal with property owners, and the steps of the property inspection process. Time is then given to work on the first Xactimate 27 project. Day three, students visit a project house with mocked-up hurricane damage and scope from the roof down. The data is then collected and brought back to the classroom for students to enter into Xactimate 27. Day four, students discuss file maintenance, pitfalls, and how to progress in the adjuster career field, including how to build a resume and become highly marketable. The remainder of the class focuses on Xactimate and finishing the project from day three. A second project is then introduced and completed. In the evening of day four, it's pizza and wing night. We also get a visit from an adjusting firm that is interested in the Gel's Adjuster Bootcamp graduate. Day five. Everything learned over the course of the week is tied together and students work to fine-tune their newly learned adjuster skills. We're excited that you're excited to jump into this new career field. We look forward to seeing you in Adjuster Bootcamp. This is the right career at the right time. From all of us here at Gel Adjuster Training, we thank you for your time.
My name is George Diller, NASA spokesman, Kennedy Space Center at Cape Canaveral. Well, the launch team was quite psyched up. We had been through one other launch attempt 2 days before because during the countdown we discovered that we had a software problem where the primary software and the backup software didn't sync. When we scrubbed the first time, the team felt like, well, you know, this is probably the first of a lot of countdown attempts we're going to have before it actually launches. So for the second attempt overnight, the countdown had actually gone reasonably well. And to get all the way down and inside of 9 minutes, when we got the final go from the launch director, we felt like, are we really going to launch this thing on the second attempt? And I mean, the adrenaline was really flowing. And when it lifted off on that second attempt, it was something that you had to see to believe.
5, 4, we've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start. America's first space shuttle. And the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Roger on the SIP, Columbia.
Mark 2 minutes 20 seconds. Confirm solid rocket booster SIP. Mark 2 minutes 30 seconds. On-board guidance is converging as programmed. Columbia is now steering for its precise window in space for main engine cutoff.
Space Shuttle is a very storied program, and I think for someone who's been privileged enough to be here for the entire thing. I was here when we prepared to launch the first one, and I'll be here for the last one. And there's a feeling about that when you see what the shuttle has done. It's beyond the kind of things that we envision the space shuttle to do. It's given us a kind of capability and flexibility that I think even went beyond what NASA imagined that it might be able to do. So it's been really a feeling of great satisfaction to have been part of that. There were a lot of things that we envisioned could happen to the space shuttle during launch, but a complete catastrophic launch of the vehicle, particularly in the first couple of minutes of the flight, certainly were not one of them. You know, we had looked at contingencies like having to land overseas, maybe getting into orbit and having to turn around and come back, having some kind of a major guidance and navigation system with the shuttle, just all kinds of things. But a catastrophic loss, an explosion, was not something that we thought was within the realm of reasonable probabilities. It was there, but when we looked at all the things that could happen, that wasn't one of them. I think what we learned from that is that the shuttle was sending us signals. It was giving us some indications on some earlier flights that the solid rocket booster O-rings had a problem, but we didn't recognize it. And so now I think we are much better at looking at things in such a way as we can interpret whether the shuttle is sending us a problem, that there's something wrong that is going to lead to a bigger problem later. And we do that now with every flight. We look at it to see if this is something we understand. Is this a signal of a bigger problem? Do we see it on more than one flight? And I think that's probably one of the most important things, is that we've learned to read the signals that the shuttle is giving us. And I think in that way, we probably have helped the shuttle mature much more safely than it might have. I think we actually built on that accident in a way that has made the solid rocket boosters probably the safest part of the shuttle system.
We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point.
I think probably the things that are the most important are the kind of flexibility that the shuttle gave us. When you look at the range of things that it could do, that led to a lot of achievements that otherwise certainly would not have been possible without the space shuttle. When you look at deploying planetary spacecraft from the shuttle, when you look at retrieving a communication satellite because it's broken and we went up and rendezvoused with it, brought it back in, fixed it, and released it. When you look at being able not just to launch the Hubble Space Telescope, but to perform 5 maintenance missions on it, all successfully. When you look at the laboratories, the Space Lab laboratories that we carried in the payload bay that laid the groundwork for the International Space Station. When you look at missions that went up there and deployed something to look at the stars and the galaxies and retrieved it and brought it home on the same mission to refly again later. It's just a whole array of things that show the kind of things that you can do not just with the shuttle, but we know can be done in space. And it's kind of laid the groundwork for the kind of things that eventually we'll be doing again because we know we can.